Hey friends, this is MR Smart Kids Education. Today, we are going to talk about the presidents of the United States. Let's start. The first president of the United States was George Washington. He served from 1789 to 1797 and is known as the father of his country. Washington helped lead America to independence and set many important traditions for future presidents. He is born in 1732. He passed away in 1799. The second president of the United States was John Adams. He served from 1797 to 1801. Before becoming president, he helped in the fight for American independence and was an important figure in writing the Declaration of Independence. Adams was known for his strong opinions and dedication to building a strong, independent country. He is born in 1735. He passed away in 1826. The third president of the United States was Thomas Jefferson. He served from 1801 to 1809. Jefferson was the main writer of the Declaration of Independence and believed strongly in liberty and democracy. During his presidency, he made the Louisiana Purchase in 1803, which doubled the size of the United States. He is born in 1743. He passed away in 1826. The fourth president of the United States was James Madison. He served from 1809 to 1817. Madison is known as the father of the Constitution because he played a key role in writing the U.S. Constitution and the Bill of Rights. During his presidency, he led the nation through the War of 1812 against Britain. He is born in 1751. He passed away in 1836. The fifth president of the United States was James Monroe. He served from 1817 to 1825. Monroe is known for the Monroe Doctrine, a policy that warned European countries not to interfere in the Americas. His presidency is remembered as the era of good feelings because of the sense of national unity in the country at the time. He is born in 1758. He passed away in 1831. The sixth president of the United States was John Quincy Adams. He served from 1825 to 1829. He was the son of John Adams, the second president. Before becoming president, he was a skilled diplomat and helped shape U.S. foreign policy. After his presidency, he continued to serve his country as a member of the House of Representatives, where he fought against slavery. He is born in 1767. He passed away in 1848. The seventh president of the United States was Andrew Jackson. He served from 1829 to 1837. Jackson was known as the People's President because he came from a humble background. He was a war hero from the War of 1812, especially famous for the Battle of New Orleans. His presidency is known for expanding the power of the presidency and his support for the common people, but he is also remembered for the controversial Indian Removal Act, which forced Native American tribes to move west. He is born in 1767. He passed away in 1845. The eighth president of the United States was Martin Van Buren. He served from 1837 to 1841. Van Buren was a key organizer of the Democratic Party and helped shape the modern American political system. His presidency faced economic challenges, including the Panic of 1837, a financial crisis that led to a severe recession. He was known for his skills as a politician and diplomat. He is born in 1782. He passed away in 1862. The ninth president of the United States was William Henry Harrison. He served in 1841 but was president for only 31 days, the shortest in U.S. history. Harrison was a military hero known for his victory at the Battle of Tippecanoe. Sadly, he caught a cold during his long inauguration speech, which turned into pneumonia, leading to his death just a month after taking office. He is born in 1773. He passed away in 1841. The 10th president of the United States was John Tyler. He served from 1841 to 1845. Tyler became president after the death of William Henry Harrison, making him the first vice president to assume the presidency in this way. During his term, he worked to strengthen the U.S. economy and supported the annexation of Texas. He was known for standing firm in his beliefs, even when they were unpopular. He is born in 1790. He passed away in 1862. The 11th President of the United States was James K. Polk. He served from 1845 to 1849. Polk is known for expanding the United States territory, including acquiring Oregon and the territories that would become California, Arizona, and New Mexico after the Mexican-American War. He was a strong believer in manifest destiny, the idea that the U.S. was meant to expand across North America. He is born in 1795. He passed away in 1849. The 12th President of the United States was Zachary Taylor. He served from 1849 to 1850. Taylor was a career military officer and a hero of the Mexican-American War. His presidency was cut short when he died unexpectedly after just 16 months in office. He is remembered for his strong leadership and military service. He is born in 1784. He passed away in 1850. The 13th President of the United States was Millard Fillmore. He served from 1850 to 1853, taking office after the death of Zachary Taylor. Fillmore is known for supporting the Compromise of 1850, which aimed to ease tensions between the North and South over the issue of slavery. His presidency helped to delay the onset of the Civil War, but he is often remembered for his moderate stance and efforts to maintain national unity. He is born in 1800. He passed away in 1874. The 14th President of the United States was Franklin Pierce. He served from 1853 to 1857. Pierce is known for his support of the Kansas-Nebraska Act, which allowed new territories to decide for themselves whether to permit slavery. This act led to violent conflicts in Kansas, known as Bleeding Kansas, and heightened tensions leading up to the Civil War. Pierce's presidency is often criticized for failing to address these growing divisions effectively. He is born in 1804. He passed away in 1869. The 15th President of the United States was James Buchanan. He served from 1857 to 1861. Buchanan is often remembered for his handling of the growing sectional tensions between the North and South. His presidency was marked by the worsening of the issues that would lead to the Civil War. Buchanan believed that the Constitution did not give him the power to stop Southern states from seceding, which many believe contributed to the conflict. He is born in 1791. He passed away in 1868. The 16th President of the United States was Abraham Lincoln. He served from 1861 to 1865 during the American Civil War. Lincoln is best known for his efforts to end slavery, most notably through the Emancipation Proclamation and the passage of the 13th Amendment. He worked tirelessly to preserve the Union and navigate the country through its most challenging period. Lincoln was assassinated in 1865, shortly after the war ended. He is born in 1809. He passed away in 1865. The 17th President of the United States was Andrew Johnson. He served from 1865 to 1869, taking office after the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. Johnson was the first president to be impeached by the House of Representatives, though he was acquitted by the Senate and completed his term. His presidency is noted for his contentious relationship with Congress over the Reconstruction policies following the Civil War. He is born in 1808. He passed away in 1875. The 18th President of the United States was Ulysses S. Grant. He served from 1869 to 1877. Grant was a commanding general during the Civil War and is best known for leading the Union Army to victory. As president, he worked to rebuild the country during the Reconstruction era and enforced civil rights laws. His presidency faced challenges, including corruption scandals, but he is remembered for his leadership during a critical period in American history. He is born in 1822. He passed away in 1885. The 19th President of the United States was Rutherford B. Hayes. He served from 1877 to 1881. Hayes is known for ending Reconstruction by withdrawing federal troops from the South, which led to the end of the era of Reconstruction and the beginning of the Jim Crow laws. His presidency focused on reforming the civil service and promoting educational and economic development. He is born in 1822. He passed away in 1893. The 20th President of the United States was James A. Garfield. He served from March to September 1881. Garfield was a Civil War hero and a reformer who aimed to address government corruption. His presidency was cut short when he was assassinated by Charles Guiteau, a disgruntled office seeker. Garfield's death led to increased efforts to reform the civil service system. He is born in 1831. He passed away in 1881. The 21st President of the United States was Chester A. Arthur. He served from 1881 to 1885, completing the term of James A. Garfield after his assassination. Arthur is known for his efforts to reform the civil service system, including supporting the Pendleton Civil Service Reform Act, which aimed to reduce government corruption and ensure that government jobs were awarded based on merit rather than political connections. He is born in 1829. He passed away in 1886. The 22nd and 24th President of the United States was Grover Cleveland. He served 2 non-consecutive terms, first from 1885 to 1889, and then from 1893 to 1897. Cleveland is the only president to serve 2 separate terms, making him both the 22nd and 24th president. His presidency focused on issues like government reform, economic policy, and fighting corruption. He is born in 1837. He passed away in 1908. The 23rd President of the United States was Benjamin Harrison. He served from 1889 to 1893, between Grover Cleveland's 2 non-consecutive terms. Harrison is known for his efforts to modernize the Navy, support civil service reform, and push for economic policies like the McKinley Tariff, which raised tariffs on imported goods. His presidency also saw the admission of 6 new states into the Union. He is born in 1833. He passed away in 1901. The 25th President of the United States was William McKinley. He served from 1897 to 1901. McKinley is known for leading the country during the Spanish-American War, which resulted in the U.S. gaining territories like Puerto Rico, Guam, and the Philippines. His presidency also focused on economic issues, including the gold standard. McKinley was assassinated in 1901, and his vice president, Theodore Roosevelt, succeeded him. He is born in 1843. He passed away in 1901. The 26th President of the United States was Theodore Roosevelt. He served from 1901 to 1909, succeeding William McKinley after his assassination. Roosevelt is known for his energetic and progressive policies, including trust busting, breaking up monopolies, conservation efforts, establishing national parks and monuments, and advocating for social reforms. He was a dynamic leader who significantly shaped the role of the presidency and the U.S. government during his time. He is born in 1858. He passed away in 1919. The 27th President of the United States was William Howard Taft. He served from 1909 to 1913. Taft is known for his efforts in trust busting, similar to Theodore Roosevelt, and his focus on strengthening the judicial system. After his presidency, Taft went on to become Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, making him the only person to have served as both President and Chief Justice. He is born in 1857. He passed away in 1930. The 28th President of the United States was Woodrow Wilson. He served from 1913 to 1921. Wilson is known for leading the country through World War I and for his efforts to promote peace and international cooperation, which led to the creation of the League of Nations. Domestically, his presidency focused on progressive reforms, including the Federal Reserve Act and the Federal Trade Commission Act, aimed at improving economic stability and regulating business practices. He is born in 1856. He passed away in 1924. The 29th President of the United States was Warren G. Harding. He served from 1921 to 1923. Harding's presidency is often remembered for his efforts to return the country to normalcy after World War I, focusing on business and economic growth. His time in office was marred by corruption scandals, such as the Teapot Dome scandal. Harding died in 1923 while still in office, and his vice president, Calvin Coolidge, succeeded him. He is born in 1865. He passed away in 1923. The 30th President of the United States was Calvin Coolidge. He served from 1923 to 1929, completing Warren G. Harding's term and then winning a full term of his own. Coolidge is known for his pro-business policies, which helped to foster economic growth during the Roaring Twenties. His presidency was characterized by a belief in limited government and a focus on reducing taxes and spending. He is born in 1872. He passed away in 1933. The 31st President of the United States was Herbert Hoover. He served from 1929 to 1933. Hoover is best known for being in office during the start of the Great Depression. Despite his efforts to combat the economic crisis, including public works projects like the Hoover Dam, he faced criticism for not doing enough to help struggling Americans. His policies were viewed as too limited, which led to his loss in the 1932 election to Franklin D. Roosevelt. He is born in 1874. He passed away in 1964. The 32nd President of the United States was Franklin D. Roosevelt. He served from 1933 to 1945, the longest in U.S. history, being elected to 4 terms. Roosevelt led the country through the Great Depression with his New Deal programs, which focused on relief, recovery, and reform to revive the economy. He also guided the U.S. through most of World War II, playing a key role in the Allied victory. His leadership left a lasting impact on the nation's social and economic policies. He is born in 1882. He passed away in 1945. The 33rd President of the United States was Harry S. Truman. He served from 1945 to 1953, taking office after the death of Franklin D. Roosevelt. Truman is known for making the difficult decision to use atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki to end World War II. He also helped shape the post-war world through policies like the Marshall Plan to rebuild Europe and the Truman Doctrine to contain communism. Additionally, he oversaw the start of the Korean War and took steps to desegregate the U.S. military. He is born in 1884. He passed away in 1972. The 34th President of the United States was Dwight D. Eisenhower. He served from 1953 to 1961. A 5-star general during World War II, Eisenhower was the supreme commander of the Allied forces in Europe. As president, he focused on maintaining peace during the Cold War, promoting economic prosperity, and strengthening the country's infrastructure with projects like the interstate highway system. He also enforced the desegregation of schools following the Supreme Court's decision in Brown v. Board of Education. He is born in 1890. He passed away in 1969. The 35th President of the United States was John F. Kennedy. He served from 1961 until his assassination in 1963. Kennedy is known for his inspiring leadership during the Cold War, including managing the Cuban Missile Crisis, which brought the world close to nuclear conflict. He promoted the space race, setting the goal of landing a man on the moon, and supported the civil rights movement. His famous inaugural address called on Americans to ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. He is born in 1917. He passed away in 1963. The 36th President of the United States was Lyndon B. Johnson. He served from 1963 to 1969, taking office after the assassination of John F. Kennedy. Johnson is known for his ambitious domestic policy, called the Great Society, which aimed to eliminate poverty and racial injustice. He signed landmark legislation, including the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. His presidency also saw the escalation of the Vietnam War, which led to widespread protest and controversy. He is born in 1908. He passed away in 1973. The 37th President of the United States was Richard Nixon. He served from 1969 to 1974. Nixon is known for his foreign policy achievements, including opening diplomatic relations with China and negotiating arms control agreements with the Soviet Union through the Saltai Treaty. Domestically, he established the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA. However, his presidency is most remembered for the Watergate scandal, which led to his resignation in 1974, making him the only U.S. president to resign from office. He is born in 1913. He passed away in 1994. The 38th President of the United States was Gerald Ford. He served from 1974 to 1977, assuming office after Richard Nixon's resignation. Ford is known for his decision to pardon Nixon for any crimes related to the Watergate scandal, a move that was highly controversial. During his presidency, he focused on addressing inflation and other economic issues. He also worked to restore trust in the government following the Watergate scandal. He is born in 1913. He passed away in 2006. The 39th President of the United States was Jimmy Carter. He served from 1977 to 1981. Carter is known for his emphasis on human rights, environmental issues, and energy conservation. His presidency included significant achievements like the Camp David Accords, which helped broker peace between Egypt and Israel. Carter also faced challenges, including the Iran hostage crisis and economic difficulties. After leaving office, he became a prominent humanitarian and won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2002 for his efforts in global peace and development. He is born October 1, 1924. The 40th President of the United States was Ronald Reagan. He served from 1981 to 1989. Reagan is known for his conservative policies, strong stance against the Soviet Union, and efforts to boost the economy through Reaganomics, which emphasized tax cuts, deregulation, and reducing government spending. His presidency saw the end of the Cold War, and he is remembered for his famous call to Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall." He is born in 1911. He passed away in 2004. The 41st President of the United States was George H.W. Bush. He served from 1989 to 1993. Bush is known for his foreign policy leadership during a transformative time in global politics, including the end of the Cold War and the Gulf War in 1991, where he led a coalition to liberate Kuwait from Iraqi forces. Domestically, he signed the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, and faced economic challenges that impacted his bid for re-election. He is born in 1924. He passed away in 2018. The 42nd President of the United States was Bill Clinton. He served from 1993 to 2001. Clinton is known for his focus on economic prosperity, leading to a period of economic growth, job creation, and budget surpluses. His administration passed significant legislation, including the North American Free Trade Agreement, NAFTA, and welfare reform. Clinton's presidency was also marked by controversy, including the Monica Lewinsky scandal, which led to his impeachment by the House of Representatives. He was later acquitted by the Senate and completed his second term in office. He is born August 19, 1946. The 43rd President of the United States was George W. Bush. He served from 2001 to 2009. Bush's presidency is most known for its response to the September 11, 2001, terrorist attacks, which led to the War on Terror and the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. Domestically, he implemented tax cuts, the No Child Left Behind Act for education reform, and managed the response to Hurricane Katrina. His second term focused on issues like Social Security reform and the financial crisis of 2008. He is born in July 6, 1946. The 44th President of the United States was Barack Obama. He served from 2009 to 2017 and was the first African American president. Obama is known for his landmark healthcare reform, the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare. His administration focused on recovering from the 2008 financial crisis, passing the Dodd-Frank Act to regulate the financial industry, and promoting environmental policies. He also ordered the operation that led to the death of Osama bin Laden in 2011. He is born on August 4, 1961. The 45th President of the United States was Donald Trump. He served from 2017 to 2021. Trump, a businessman and television personality before his presidency, is known for his America First policies, including tax cuts, trade negotiations, and efforts to restrict immigration. His administration saw the appointment of 3 Supreme Court justices and the renegotiation of trade deals like the USMCA. His presidency was marked by the COVID-19 pandemic and economic challenges. He was impeached twice by the House of Representatives, but acquitted both times by the Senate. He is born on June 14, 1946. The 46th President of the United States is Joe Biden. He took office in 2021. Before his presidency, Biden served as vice president under Barack Obama from 2009 to 2017. His administration has focused on addressing the COVID-19 pandemic, passing the American Rescue Plan to aid economic recovery, promoting infrastructure improvements through the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, and tackling issues like climate change. His presidency also emphasizes efforts to expand healthcare access, address systemic inequalities, and restore U.S. relations globally. He is born on November 20, 1942.